They told you to be patient, to work hard, to stay quiet until someone finally notices you. That someday someone would see your value and lift you into the life you deserve. But that day never comes. Because here's the truth. The more you wait to be chosen, the more invisible you become. From childhood, we are trained to seek approval from our parents, our teachers, our peers. Later, from bosses, partners, audiences, we mold ourselves to be liked, accepted, selected. And in the process, we lose the one thing that matters most, our inner voice. We begin to ask, without saying it, who do I need to become so they will pick me? But here's the paradox. Every step you take trying to be chosen by others takes you one step further from choosing yourself. You become a reflection, not a reality. Like Narcissus, staring at his own image, you mistake attention for identity, and in that space between who you are and who you pretend to be, something quietly dies. Why do we do it? Why do we hand over our power, our voice, our truth, just to feel accepted? It goes deeper than culture, deeper than society. It's spiritual, a severing of something ancient inside us. From a young age, you were told that love comes with conditions, that you had to earn worth. And so you abandoned yourself for safety, for approval, for belonging. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the parts of ourselves we exile, just to be accepted by the tribe. In Eastern philosophy, it's the illusion of separation, Maya, a belief that we are fragments in need of fixing, rather than complete beings in hiding. Institutions, both religious and social, have thrived on this. The unchosen seek saviors. And so prophets rise, not to awaken you, but to replace your own voice. But what if that abandonment was never necessary? What if you were already whole? What if the self you locked away was the very source of your power? Here is where it turns. Choosing yourself is not arrogance. It is the beginning of truth. You've been told that you need permission, that someone wiser, older, more important, must validate your path. But choosing yourself means stepping into your own authority. It means saying, I am enough. I will not wait another day to be who I am. Nietzsche spoke of the Übermensch, the one who transcends herd morality and creates meaning from within. Lao Tzu taught Wu Wei, the way of effortless being. When you choose yourself, you don't force anything, you align. This is not about ego, it's about essence. The deeper you go, the more you discover. You are not your story, you are not your past. You are the one who sees it all. And from that stillness, from that power, your real life begins. Choosing yourself is not a decision. It is a return. But what if you don't? What if you stay silent, waiting for someone to notice your light? Time passes, doors close, the world moves on. You become a ghost in your own life. You watch others live boldly while you stay safe, hidden, hoping. There are artists who never shared their work, lovers who never spoke their truth, thinkers who never published a word, all waiting for the perfect moment, for permission. But life doesn't wait. It moves without your readiness. Kierkegaard called it despair, the quiet suffering of a self that knows what it is, but refuses to become it. And one day you look back and realize, no one was ever going to choose me. I was always the one who had to begin. So how do you do it? How do you choose yourself? It doesn't happen in a crowd. It doesn't happen with applause. It happens alone. You go inward, into the cave of your own soul. Jung called it individuation, the sacred process of becoming whole. Shamans called it initiation, a death of the old self, a rebirth of the true one. You do not need a ritual. You are the ritual. You say the words no one ever said to you. I see you. I believe in you. I choose you. And in that moment, the world shifts. Not outside, but within. And that shift radiates into every part of your life. You no longer wait. You no longer shrink. You no longer ask for permission to be. You are. At first, it feels lonely. To choose yourself is to walk a path few dare to take. But then something strange happens. You meet others who have chosen too. Not clinging, not pretending. Whole. And in that space, connection is real. Free of masks, free of roles, free of desperation. Rumi said, "Don't seek love. Seek to remove the blocks to love. When you no longer need to be chosen, you attract what is true. You don't chase. You resonate. And those who meet you there see the real you, not the mask, not the image, but the flame." So here we are, at the edge of everything you've feared and everything you've longed for. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't born to be chosen by a system that never saw you. You were born to rise, on your own terms, in your own time. And you don't need a spotlight to shine. You need a choice. Make it now, not tomorrow, not when you're ready. Choose yourself, because no one else can do it for you, and when you do, everything begins. Most people live their lives waiting to be noticed, to be accepted, to be chosen. We're taught this from the beginning. Raise your hand and wait to be called on. Wait for the job offer. Wait for the relationship. Wait for the world to tell you who you are. But what if no one ever comes? What if the person you're waiting for is you? This is the lie we were all sold. That we must be picked. That our value is determined by someone else. That our destiny is in the hands of others. But here's the secret they never told you. The moment you stop waiting to be chosen is the moment you step into your power. You weren't born to wait. You were born to rise. Throughout history, the ones who changed the world didn't wait to be chosen. They chose themselves. Socrates wasn't invited. He spoke anyway. Buddha wasn't ordained. He sat beneath the tree and found the truth on his own. Malcolm X didn't ask for permission. He declared his voice. They knew something we've forgotten, that the greatest authority doesn't come from society. It comes from the soul. In the ancient mystery schools, the chosen weren't selected by the crowd. They were called by the silence within. They stepped forward, not because they were ready, but because they couldn't stay silent any longer. 2. Choose yourself is to anoint yourself. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's not about ego, it's about knowing who you are, without needing the world to tell you. So why don't more people do it? Why do we stay stuck in the shadows, hoping someone else will pull us into the light? The answer is fear. Fear is the invisible cage. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of being truly seen. But underneath all those fears is one even deeper, the fear of your own power. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the part of us we bury because it's too big, too bright, too unknown. But that shadow isn't your enemy, it's your gateway. Because the truth is, if you don't face the parts of you that scare you, someone else will use them to control you. And as long as you're afraid to stand in your truth, you'll keep giving your power to those who aren't. There's a whisper that echoes in every dreamer's mind, I'm not ready. And so we wait for confidence, for clarity, for some magical sign that says now is the time. But what if that sign never comes? What if readiness is a myth? The greatest philosophers knew this. Kierkegaard said, faith is a leap, not a calculation. Nietzsche taught that we become who we are by acting, not by waiting. Every person who made history moved while shaking. They were terrified, unprepared, and they moved anyway. Because readiness isn't the starting point, it's the outcome. The ones who move before they feel ready. They are the ones who shift the world. This is the moment it changes, not when you're chosen, but when you declare yourself. To choose yourself is not just a decision, it's a sacred act. It's standing in front of the world and saying, this is who I am. This is what I carry, and I don't need your permission to exist. When you declare yourself, the universe listens, because it's not validation you need, it's alignment. When your soul and your steps become one, you begin to move with something ancient, something eternal. This is more than confidence. It's conviction. More than boldness. It's a return to the truth that was always there. You were never lost. You were only silent. And now, you speak. But don't think it'll be easy. The moment you choose yourself, the world will push back. Not because you're wrong, but because your freedom threatens their control. You'll be questioned, mocked, misunderstood. Even your own mind will resist you, throwing doubt like daggers. But this is the rite of passage. Every truth teller, every soul walker has faced this fire. Jesus was crucified. Galileo was condemned. Socrates was sentenced to death. Not because they were dangerous, but because they no longer waited, they declared. And so must you. The resistance isn't a sign you're off track, it's proof that you've stepped into your truth.